Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So I'm excited today to talk about Palomar Mountain. We connected 4 different trails while there. There's a lot of trails at Palomar Mountain. We'll get into a little bit about that. So as always, we'll cut straight into the video. When we come back, we'll talk about how to get there, park details, trail details, and then just a few tips. So guys, welcome back to the channel. So Palomar Mountain, let's cut straight into 3 important details you need to know. The first is that it is $10 to go into the park itself. Easier if you have some cash, but just a tip. The second thing is that dogs are allowed, but not on the trail. So if you're planning on going camping there, which a lot of people do, it's something you can do. But if you're going day hiking, such as what I did, it's just best to not bring your dog because they can't go on any of the trails, and I'm sure they'll give out a ticket if they see you there with it. Lastly, just want to point out the elevation at Palomar Mountain is 5,000 feet and above. So if you go around this time of year, fall, winter, there's a good chance you might see some snow. So just be prepared for that, obviously, with your car and your gear. Palomar Mountain, because the elevation, is one of those places where it gets a little bit cooler at night. So if you're going to be there for a while, it's just good to have an extra sweater on board. So with those 3 things out of the way, let's talk about how to get to Palomar Mountain. Alright, so Palomar Mountain, regardless of where you're really coming from, I think the two main ways to get there are going to be using two roads, but both that connect to the 76. So you're going to be on the 76, and then you can take the first one here, which we call out as S6, and this one is a really windy and long road. If any of you who are from this area have ever driven to Big Bear, Julian, any places like that, this one is worse. It's long and it's very windy, and whenever I go with my family, somebody always ends up feeling nauseous. So something to be aware about. Now the other road, which is the S7 road here, actually connects all the way from Lake Henshaw. I've never used this road myself, but I did read online that most people who've taken it say it's a little bit easier. And you can see it here by itself. You look at the road, it's not nearly as windy as the S6. Let's jump into the park itself. And I pulled this straight from the park because I just think it's the best way to describe it. I was trying to come up with some words myself, but it just doesn't do it any justice. The beautiful forests and mountain meadows of Palomar Mountain State Park are in northern San Diego County, high atop the west side of Palomar Mountain. Large pine, fir, and cedar trees make the park one of the few areas in Southern California with the Sierra Nevada-like atmosphere. And that's really it. I've been to places like Sequoia, I've not yet been to Yosemite.
I know, shock.
Bruh. And this feels closer to what you see over there. It definitely makes you feel like you're far away from home if San Diego, Southern California is your home. So I definitely recommend you check it out. It's beautiful up there. It feels like you're in a forest or a big meadow. So with that said, let's jump into here, and I'll post this link on the website, on the YouTube video. There's a great brochure map they provide. Alright, so this black road here that you see on the bottom right-hand side is Highway 76. When you feel like you finally entered the park is where you see the park headquarters, and that's where you have to pay the $10. Again, there's a little station, you can go in there, you can talk to somebody, get some more trail details, whatever, but you do have to pay the $10, and then they give you something to put on your dashboard. So as you can see, there's a few different ways you can go, but I'm going to show you specifically what I did on this trip and what I've done before so that you don't get lost and it's pretty easy on your end. So from the park headquarters, we'll keep going down, and we'll want to make a right all the way down to the next P, which is right off Dewan Pond. And there's a lot of parking there available for day hikers such as myself. So you'll see right above it, we have a map of all the different campgrounds. And then once you park your stuff here, so the 4 trails that we connected, and I'll just go through them. You walk a little bit around Dewan Pond, and then it connects to Thunder Spring Trail, which is the one you see here, all the way. And then you have 2 options. You make a left, and you connect back to Upper Dewan Valley Trail, which takes you back to the parking lot. Or, what we did, is we then took that to Chimney Flats Trail. And you can see it goes all the way around here. And then again here you have another option to make a left and go onto Silvercrest Trail, which it's a nice walk, but I wouldn't really recommend. What we did is we stayed on that, and we go straight through Scott's Cabin Trail, which is I think the prettiest part of the hike that we did. The absolute brightest colors. You have the apple orchards right next to it. And then from here, again, you can make a left and go on Adams Trail, which I have not done, but what we did now this time is make a right and go onto Cedar Trail and go all the way back to the parking lot. But as you're doing this, I would bring some bug spray, especially if it's more around summertime or it's a little warm, because when you walk on Thunder Spring Trail, for example, you're right next to the creek, and obviously that's where you'll find all the bugs. The other tip I have for you while you're here is when you drive, if you're, I would recommend obviously for sunrise or sunset, but either part of the, any part of the day is beautiful. But when we made it right here, we went to the parking lot. If you actually go left, and you want to be careful here, you don't end up on this grade road, which is all sort of rocks and gravel, and it'll wreck your car if it's not ready for it. You want to go on this one dirt road that's a one-way, and you end up over here. You can actually also hike to it. It's called Boucher Trail. And you end up at the Boucher Lookout Observation Point, which is a fire lookout tower. So once you're here, again, you can go into the fire tower, get views from the top of there, and it is absolutely magnificent. And I'll put some pictures here now of some of the sunset photos that I took while I was there. With that said, guys, I think we'll end it there. As you can see just on the map that I showed earlier, again, the link will be in the YouTube description below. There's a lot of different trails at Palomar Mountain, so definitely somewhere you can keep going over and over and try something new every time. The last tip officially I'll leave you with is if you take the S6 that we showed earlier, you do drive past Harris Resort Casino. So one of the things that I like to do is after a long day's hike, I'll come down, just change clothes, and hit up the buffet at Harris. So if that's something that sounds appealing to you, make it a family thing, a family trip, whatever it is, I would definitely recommend it. I finally launched the new website, beautyiswild.com. So I want to recommend that you guys check out my website. You'll see the portraits page, you'll see the adventures and hiking page, and you'll see the travel page. And then also obviously check out the Instagram at beautyiswild. Follow me there. That's where I post all my favorite photos. But obviously if you want to see a full album, for example, of the photos I took at Palomar Mountain, you can go straight to the adventures tab on the website and look at them there. Guys, thanks again, and I'll be back soon. We're going to talk about Monument Peak in Mount Laguna next time. So stay tuned.